Hello, I just want to make a really short video about the power of stepping out of your comfort zone, even in a really small way, because I'm just back from doing that and I feel really good about it, even though it's like the tiniest thing I'm about to describe. I've always wanted to drive to a shopping centre that's literally about 5 minutes away, but it's 5 minutes away in the other direction that I don't know very well. I always walk in that direction, like into the city centre, and I tend to just walk around here. I only use my car really to go back and forth to my parents' house, and I'm used to that route. I'm just not very adventurous with driving. I learned to drive quite late in life, and I'm kind of used to just like small drives to a particular place that I'll need to keep doing back and forth. I'm not good at just like getting out there and driving and seeing other places, and that's something I really want to be better at, and it's really something that is a big thing for me, that is a really good way to step out of my comfort zone. Anyway, I'm just talking about literally a 5 minute drive along a road I don't really know. I have been putting this off for ages. I've always thought, oh, I should like go to that centre. There's like coffee shops there and different things. It's just like a small centre. It's not a big deal, but I was like, oh, I should like go check out what's there, because there might be like things there like quite useful, and obviously if I could drive there, then that means, I can buy bigger things if I need them that I wouldn't buy if I just like walked into the town centre. Yeah, I don't know why I've been putting this off so long, and I've been just procrastinating on it. I've been looking at the map for ages, like, oh, it doesn't seem that far away. It's just like one road really, and hopefully like the road is not more complicated than it looks in the map, because it looks very simple. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because sometimes we just don't do little things. It's kind of a strange sensation, because deep down, like, it's not a big deal, and you'll be fine, but it's kind of like you just talk yourself into just doing things that are more comfortable, or things that you're used to, and it kind of feels like a bigger deal if I'm going to go do something different that I'm not used to doing. This is like a bigger deal than just like going and doing my usual thing. So I just like build up doing new things in a way that I think is really strange, but it's probably quite common. So I just wanted to talk about this. If you're like procrastinating like a small change or like a small little step out of your comfort zone, you just need to do it, and it's not that big a deal, but it actually makes a big difference. Like, I'm really proud of myself for literally like driving 5 minutes in a direction I'm not so sure about. So I drove there this morning. I parked in one spot, and I thought I was going to be able to, there's kind of like a retail park and then there's a shopping centre, and I thought I would just be able to like walk between the two. So I went to the retail park, I went to a coffee shop, got a coffee, and then I kind of walked around there in the different shops, and then I was like, I want to go to the shopping centre, so I tried to like walk over, but it was a dead end. So I was like, oh no, right, I need to get back in my car and travel like further down the road that was already like a step too far out of my comfort zone. So anyway, I did that. I got back in the car and I drove to the shopping centre, and I was a little bit concerned, like maybe it's like paid parking, which I'm really not used to, but it was free parking, so that was fine, and it was fairly quiet. It's a Sunday morning. I'm particularly doing this on a Sunday morning because I know it's quieter, and I don't know, I just like feel really pleased with myself that I did this little thing that I've been putting off. I think in my mind I was like, oh, it's not that big a deal, but I just kept being like, oh no, today I'll just go into town, today I'll just stick with the usual. It feels like a big deal to do something slightly new, but it was just really, really nice to do something slightly new. This is not a super exciting thing. It's just a very, very small thing, but I think like that's, it's given me like a bit of, like it's refreshed me a little bit just because, I've got in the car and I've drove somewhere that I'm not used to, and I feel proud of myself for that. So I wanted to share that. And if you have similar experiences of this, like just pushing yourself that little bit out of your comfort zone, and it really does, I think, like each time you do a little something like that, it builds your confidence. And what I really would like to do at some point is do like a long drive. I would like to do, people will say to me, oh, they've drove here, they've drove there, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had somebody to drive me around. And it's like, well, I can drive, so like I've got the ability to drive myself around and see the things I want to see. Like I really have not seen that much of my country, and I actually watched a YouTuber from America talk about doing like a road trip in Scotland, and she was going to all these places. She was just like, yeah, it was a 3-hour drive here, it was a 5-hour drive here, and I'm like, whoa, like I would just never have had the nerve to do that, especially like in a different country. But maybe it's because actually I know more about the difficulties of some of the roads here, and I don't know, like you might build things up in your head because you know them better in a sense. I don't know, but anyway, that's one of the things I really want to push myself to do and improve on, and just it's just all part of this journey or exploration I'm on to challenge myself and just like feel more alive and more present. And I think it's really easy for me just to like stay in and want to like read or want to like watch something, and just I think because I work from home as well, you can get very like homebody, and in a way I like that. I like having like my little sanctuary, but at the same time, I do still want to push myself and do different things, and particularly travelling around seeing my own country is something I want to do, because when I was younger I kind of travelled around different parts of the world, and like that doesn't feel as daunting to me as like actually driving around my own country, which I would really like to do. So today I drove 5 minutes 5 minutes out of my comfort zone, and I'm pleased with that. And I just want to make a video about that. Like it's difficult to push yourself just even to do like these small things that are a little bit out of our comfort zone, and it actually takes a lot of presence of mind, because like you're needing to look at the map and figure things out for for new things that you haven't looked at before, or new things you haven't thought about before. So that's why I think for people who maybe live in their heads like I do, or that I've struggled to, as it does feel like a lot of mental power just to make a decision to do something a little bit new, but I suppose I'm making the video because I feel like it was very worth it. Even though it was like the smallest thing, it feels, I feel like quite renewed. And I just wanted to talk about this. So, this is just a random little video. And if you enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.